After making the circle ravioli, I wanted to try some other shapes, specifically the suit symbols. So I went into Fusion and started with one of the easier ones, the heart. After sketching the shape, I extruded and filleted the edges, then subtracted it from the stamp body and exported the file. Then I did the diamonds, which again was incredibly easy. The club symbol, on the other hand, was quite difficult. I started with the 3 circular leaves and then added the stem. I had a lot of trouble getting a shape that accurately mimicked the clover shape, but that would be easy to print and transfer onto the ravioli. The spade was much easier than the club, and it did help that I was able to just reuse the stem from the clubs, but it was still difficult to get an attractive shape, but I think it turned out well. Then it was time to export and print all of the ravioli stamps. After taking them out of the printer and removing the supports, I was very pleasantly surprised with how well each of the shapes looked in person. Now it was time to start making the noodles. In order to get the right colors, I wanted to try using natural dyes, so I decided to use beets to make the red. But I wanted to eat the beets as a side, so I peeled and cubed them and set them to boil until tender. My plan was to use the water from the boiled beets for the red and some squid ink that I had purchased online for the black. So in order to make the 2 colors, I mixed the wet ingredients of the dough, then separated them into 2 halves to make the colors separately. I decided to start with the red so that the black would not contaminate the red and ruin its color. The squid ink worked incredibly well though. It did however smell very fishy, which made me very nervous that the noodles would taste fishy, which is not a flavor that I like at all. When I finally started to make the red dough, it did not look very vibrant red. It was kind of a pink-orange, so I decided to add some red food coloring because I really wanted these to pop. Then I needed the black, which worked excellently but still smelled of fish. After letting the dough rest, I rolled it out using my 3D printed pasta roller and assembled the ravioli. After rolling the dough to the right thickness, I cut it into strips just long enough to fold it in half to create the ravioli. I used the stamps to measure them. I then added about a 1/4 teaspoon of filling to the center of one side, folded it over with a little water on the edges to seal it, and then pressed the stamp down to deform the filling to match the suit shape, and used my knife to trim the excess noodle from around the edges. After assembling all of the ravioli, it was time to boil them. Again, I started with the red just in case the squid ink bled into the water. I really didn't want to discolor the red suits on accident. I thought they turned out pretty well. They looked cool and achieved the effect I was going for. And thankfully, the squid ink did not impart a fishy flavor to the noodles at all.